But I bet y'all can hear me now. Microphone check 1 2. You are now tuned into the network. The network, bro. The YouTube channel that takes complex networking topics, dumbs it down to a more simple language. Y'all know how we do on this channel. If I could just bring up my damn. There we go.
Bruh.
All right, so we're gonna be working with Packet Tracer along with this Boson NetSyn lab. I'll bring it up. We're gonna do Syslog Messaging. Basically, it's a way to kind of see the logs, things that happen on our network. We'll see like an event log, right? We'll have like a date and time stamp along with what happened, right? We can take all of these events that happen and take them and offload them onto another server and keep them on. And keep them on there in case we need to see what happened last night when our network went down, etc. Right? So we got this Boson NetSyn lab we'll be working with, just a couple of steps here, and then there's also a Packet Tracer lab. If you're joined to the Discord server, you'll be able to download it and follow along with us. There's not much configuring on these couple labs here. The Packet Tracer one is a guided one, so it's not like you really have to know how to configure it. It shows you exactly how to do it, and plus you got me, the network, to show you how to do it too, right? So we're gonna give it a couple minutes for some people to tune in or whatever, and I'll be giving these last minute I guess kind of like warnings about, well, not necessarily warnings, but advertisements or whatever you want to call it, about when I'm gonna be streaming. I know it's kind of unpredictable, and it's usually between 6 to 9 Eastern time is when I stream, 6 to 9 p.m. So I'm gonna give you guys an invite to the Discord server. And usually, if I got time, or if I remember, or if I got something that I want to cover, then I'll let you know in the Discord server what time that is. I will stream, right? So, join the Discord server here. That is the link to the Discord server. I'm gonna go ahead and pin it there for anybody that want to see. Y'all make sure you hit me that like button and subscribe to your boy. I'm trying to turn this light on. Oh boy, these people ain't gonna like this part. Y'all give me a second here. Oh man, there it is. What's going on here? Crap, man. Anyway, just give it a couple more minutes for some people to tune in. You gotta get my water intake up here.
Later.
I know. Y'all give me a second here, man. We just gathering up everything and then waiting for a couple viewers to kind of tune in, letting them catch up and stuff. Anyway, what else could we say about it? Let's see what we got going on in the today's IT industry. The mystery of China's sudden warning about U.S. hackers. Yeah, you got to be quick with that, right? China has recently begun saber rattling about American cyber espionage. For the best part of the decade, U.S. officials and cybersecurity companies have been naming and shaming hackers they believe that work for the Chinese government. These hackers have stolen terabytes of data from companies like pharmaceutical and video game firms, compromised servers, stripped security protections, and hijacked hacking tools, according to security experts. And as China's alleged hacking has grown more brazen, individual Chinese hackers face indictments. However, things may be changing. It ain't fun when the rabbit got the gun, right? Since the start of 2022, China's foreign ministry and the country's cybersecurity firms has increasingly been calling out alleged U.S. cyber espionage. Yeah. And I believe it, right? It's just that, China is just it is a superpower, but they're seen as like this evil country and shit, right? Because they, communism, but this ain't a politics channel. I'm not going to talk about anything like that. So until now, these allegations have been a rarity. But the disclosures come with a catch. They appear to rely on years-old technical details, which are already publicly known and don't contain fresh information. The move may be a strategic change for China as the nation tussles to cement its position as a tech superpower. So basically propaganda, I guess. That's what they're doing here, right? So they naming the U.S. for, basically hacking and shit like that, and it's old news or whatever. But they using that, I guess, to kind of, I don't know what there may be some strategic strategy on why they're doing this now, right? These are useful materials for China's tit-for-tat propaganda campaigns when they face U.S. accusation and indictment of China's espionage activities, says Chi Chang, a cyber threat analyst at the Taiwan-based cybersecurity firm Team T5. China's accusations, which were noted by security journalist Catalin, I'm not even pronounce that right there,
Bruh.
all follow a very similar pattern. On February 23, Chinese security company Pangu Lab published allegations that the U.S. National Security Agency's elite equation group hackers used a backdoor dubbed BVP-47. I'm not sure if anybody's familiar with that. Probably Professor Black Ops in there if he's in the room over there. FBI, open up! They used the backdoor to monitor 45 countries. Well, they using these hackers, these hacking techniques to just kind of watch what the other country's doing. But either way, however you want to call it, it's still hacking, right? And it's probably for safety reasons or whatever. The Global Times, a tabloid newspaper that's part of the Chinese state-controlled media, ran an exclusive report on the research. Weeks later, on March 14, the newspaper had a second exclusive story about another NSA tool, NOPEN, or NOPEN, based on details from Chinese National Computer Virus Emergency Response Center. A week later, Chinese cybersecurity firm Kihu 360 alleged that U.S. hackers have been attacking Chinese companies and organizations. Again, they probably did it for safety reasons. It was like, we got to watch these motherfuckers. Let's hack into their shit and make sure they ain't targeting the U.S. or trying to target us. So it's basically, countermeasures. But either way, however you want to call it, it's still hacking. And it is what it is, right? And they just go on and on about what the U.S. been doing and what they've been alleged for doing. I'm not going to read the whole article to y'all. We'll go ahead and get started with the lab if everybody's in here. We got Darth Dweeb in the building. And he said, you got to be a fool to think that hacking is coming from just one country. Seriously, man. Exactly. You think we ain't hacking no countries, man? Listen, man. It's just that we have our own propaganda in a way, right? The media makes it seem like the U.S. is this superpower and we're policing these other countries and we're just good guys. No, not necessarily. But again, this is not a politics channel. I'm not going to get into any of that. But, or even just a handful. Exactly. China is... Let me just say this. Usually if you if you buy these how do I say, not firepower, like firewall solutions and stuff like that, like FTD or Panorama and stuff like that, they got these preset determinations or preset kind of like settings for you to say I forgot what it's called, but you can block certain countries from accessing your network, or not necessarily accessing your network, but how do I say, you can just pretty much block other countries from getting to your network, right? And the preset default be like China, Russia, Ukraine, and shit like that, right? And you're thinking, oh, well, but that's not the only countries that the hackers come from, right? We have hackers over here in the United States too. I read y'all stories all the time. So again, this is not a politics channel, so I'm not gonna get into any of that. But like Darth Dweeb said, you got to be a fool to think that Russia and China are the only countries that's doing hacking or cybersecurity and cyber espionage and stuff like that. So anyway, let me get not too political over here and shit like that. So again, we're doing some Syslog messages in here, right? I think we're going to be doing some configuration on router 1. We got a Syslog server right over here. Let me pull up the map, right? So we got this Syslog right over here. We're going to be sending, we're going to use this to send Syslog messages to the Syslog server right over here, right? I think we're going to put set out Syslogging on here and on here as well. And then they're just going to be sending their logging and then keep it on this little server. It's not really a server. Look, as you can see, it's a PC and don't even have no fucking cables, right? So, but that's where we're going to be sending our log messages to. So, task 1 says, and I know I gave you guys a packet tracer lab. We'll cover that after I just wanted to do this quick little Boson NetSim lab in case you got Boson NetSim. Lab task number 1. Configure system message logging. You guys, again, what I said was logging. Syslogging is just a way to kind of putting a date and timestamp on an event that occurred on your network, right? And then you could take these logs and then just offload them onto a server, so that way later on you could just dissect them, and it helps you, troubleshoot your network when shit go down, right? On router 1, ping syslog server, IP address 10.10.10. So we just gonna have router 1, this guy right over here. We're just gonna send some ping messages to this guy right over here, and that's all they want us to do. So let's go to router 1 and do that. He said his address is, go to enable mode, ping 10.1.0.10. They said the ping should be successful. Get on our knees, pray to network gods.
Bruh.
And they did reply, so that's good. Configure router 1 to send system log messages to Syslog server. That's the host name for it. So now we're gonna do the same thing. Instead of just pinging it, we're able to see that we got some general network connectivity to this Syslog server. Now they just want us to send anything that happens on this server, right? Any kind of messages, we want to send that to that server right over there. How do we do that? The command is just logging host and then the IP address. But I just learned that you don't even have to put the host keyword. That's new to me, so that's why I like labbing every day. So go to global config mode. We say logging. I'll question mark for you real quick. We could do logging host and then the IP address, or we could just do logging and then the IP address of where we're gonna send those syslog messages to, right? I like doing logging host because that's what I'm used to. So logging host and question mark, you'll see. Now you put the IP address of the syslog server. What they said it was 10.1.0.10. 10.1.0.10. All right, press enter, and then we see, as we see right there, we got a syslog message already. It says now we're going to be logging to host 10.1.0.10, and it's on port 514. Pop quiz. What transport protocol do we use? We're sending it through port 514, but what transport protocol are we sending those syslog messages to? If you know, put it in the chat. I think I know what it is. I'm sure I know what it is. This thing is no reading on that. Send it all to gray log. What is that? I don't even know what that is. Then I got some reflection questions. So, anybody? Somebody? So we know that we're sending syslog messages to, as we can see, to that host. My damn mouse, man. Damn, I think I unplugged something, man. Jeez, I can't wait till I get my new crib, man. Then I'm gonna have more space and stuff like that, man. Anyway, so we're sending those syslog messages to this guy right over here on port number 514. But what transport protocol? Does anybody know? Darth Dweeb, not quite, almost. UDP, actually, I believe. Let me fact check myself though, because I believe it's UDP 514. Let me double check. Syslog port, it's 514. UDP 514. So, but let me see. It says here, as stated. Let me make sure though. What is it? Is port 514 TCP or UDP? It's UDP. So Syslog is UDP, port number 514. So you're quite close, Darth Reed. The next question said, how many levels of logging are available to trap? So in other words, so there's several levels that we can send our trap, our what they call them, traps, right? So basically our log messages to the Syslog server. There's 7 levels, right? The ones that are like catastrophic and we just gotta like we gotta let everybody know about this is level 0. That is like emergency, like sound the alarm, like we gotta like take a look at this, man. This is crazy, right? All the way up to level, then you go to level 1, level 2, all the way up to the least important, which is debugging, level 7, right? It says level 7, right? But how many levels are there? There's actually 8, right? So Darth Reed said, I'm only guessing. I truly have no idea. I knew it was either TCP and UDP, and I just remember, I did some reading a while back, and I remembered UDP. That's how I figured it was UDP. But if you would have asked me what the port number was before I did this stream, I would have been like, I don't fucking know. So I don't know everything. I just be quizzing y'all just to kind of like, it's not like I know everything. So it's all good though, Darth Reed. What was I saying? Yeah, so there's actually, even though we go to level 7 for like debugging. Now let me see if I can pull it up real quick. We go to level 7 for debugging. Syslog logging levels. There's actually, I'll pull them up, right? Google it real quick for y'all. It's actually 8 levels. So when we look at Wikipedia, I guess y'all know this is Wikipedia. The fuck? Yeah, I guess so. I guess Wikipedia does have it. Anyway, these are the logging levels by standard. There's 7 levels, but there's actually, because we have a level 0, there's actually 8 levels, right? So we have 0 for emergency, like I said, sound the alarm. It's a panic condition, as you can see right there. Then we have level 1, 2, 3, all the way to debugging, where it just like logs every little thing. It don't matter if you logging into the PC, logging into the router or switch, you're logging out. What is that? A new message? Oh, okay. And so on and so forth. It logs every little thing. Sometimes we might want to do that. Sometimes we might not, right? We don't want to log every single thing on it because it could just hog up the CPU. And like, we don't want to log every single thing. It's just like, this is crazy. What was I gonna say? The next question was, if you configure, he said level 7 is a lie. Yeah, man, it's just like every single thing, man. We don't want that. If you configure a device to trap log messages up to level 7, would you receive more log messages than if you configured a device to trap log messages up to level 1? Yes, because the lower the level, then you're saying from here on out, don't talk to me unless it's from here on out. So we pull up that. Do I have it up still? So whatever message whatever level we set it to, right? Let's say we set it to level 5, right? And this is how I used to get confused, because what if you write it out from 0 at the bottom and then 7 up the top? No, we got to look at it from here on down, right? So, or if you flip it around, that's why I used to get confused, because some people, when you see these charts, you'll see 0 at the bottom and a 7 at the top, right? Well, if you set, we'll just think of it like 7 is at the bottom, right? If you set it to level 7, then we're saying, this is why I don't like this, because 0 should be at the bottom. We're saying log everything from here on down to level 7. Now, when I first used to when I first was reading up on this stuff, you'll see some charts will say 7 is at the top. This is why I get confused, right? And if you're saying log messages all the way up to level 7, that means log everything, right? But if you say log up to level 5, then that means you really got to look at it like this. Log up to level 5. If it's level 6 and 7, don't even bother sending me log messages. That's what we're saying here. So that's why it really depends on what kind of chart. Wikipedia has it from 0 at the top and 7 at the bottom. You know, it gets confusing. So I wish they standardized it where they always show 0s at the bottom, but you just kind of have to know the concept without looking at these charts. That's why it gets confusing or whatever. What else we can say here? So configure router 1 to limit log messages to the warning severity level. Where's the warning levels, severity level? As we can see right there, warning is up to 4, right? So now we're saying up to number 4. So that means we want to see only this. That's what we're saying when we do that. Not if we say up to level 4 like this, then that means you saying send me only 5, 6, and 7. Nah, it don't go that way. I don't think it go that way. All right, y'all correct me if I'm wrong though. But if you set it up to level 4, that means you're gonna say, show me just these messages over here, right? So let's try that, right, and see what happens. Right now we already see Syslog. Since we touched it, it's out of the box. We're already setting up. We already got a level 6 message there. That's what that 6 right there stands for, right? So if we do logging question mark, we'll see the warning is, I believe, at the trap keyword. So we do trap, and then now we can see what we can set it to. 0 for emergencies, system is unstable, right?
FBI, open up!
That's just been my favorite sound effect lately, right? And then we got level 1 for alerts, etc., etc., etc. We said we want to set it to level 4, which is what? Warning conditions, right? So we say we'll just put a 4 there. Now I didn't know you could do this. Actually put in the keyword. I did not know you can do that. I thought it had to be the number. No, you can put the keyword too. So we'll put a 4 there, right? So logging trap messages up to 4, right? Is that what they said? Yes. Warning was 4, right? So the next thing they said they wanted us to do, we only got like 10 steps, and then we'll move on to the next lab. on router 1, verify your configuration. So we go to router 1. We're already on router 1.
Are you fucking stupid?
To show logging is the way to do it, right? And that's how we verify our logging settings. I'll scroll this up some, and then we'll see from here where's level set to. Right here, level warning, trap logging levels warnings. They don't tell you the number; they tell you the keyword. So now, like I said, I didn't know you could set the keyword for your logging. I thought you had to put the number, but that's it right there. So, and as you can see, we have this level. This was before we set it though, right? We have a level 5 message. We have a level 6 message. We have a level 5 message right here. Let's try to do something like, I'm trying to think of a level 7 message we could do. Let's send a ping and see what happens. No, I don't think ping will work. I'm trying to think of a level. We shut down an interface. That's just going to be a level 5, I believe. Yeah. Shut down an interface is level 5. I'm trying to think of a good, what could we do to set that? Set off a higher warning. I don't know. Like, we'd have to shut it off or something. I don't know. There's no way to shut it off on here too. I don't even know, man. Fuck it. They don't even ask for that anyway. On switch 1 and 2, ping the Syslog server. The ping should be successful. So now they just want us to, from the switch, ping that server, and then from this switch, ping the server. Right? We'll go to that guy. And as you can see, we got switch 1 here. Ping 10.1.0.1. Is that what it was? .10. Enter. We got a reply. Same thing on switch 2. Enable ping 10.1.0.10. Got a reply. Configure switch 1 to send syslog messages to the server. Warning level or higher. Now, when they say higher, do they mean 4 and up, or do they mean 4 and down? Right? So, when they say higher, so you would think 4 and up. Does that mean from 4 to 7? Only send me those messages? Or does that mean from 4 to 0? I guess that'd be 4 to 7, right? Just by, I guess, the verbiage. That's why it gets kind of tricky. So, for me at least, we're gonna go Fig mode. We say logging trap keyword, right? And we'll do the keyword warnings, right? Is that what they said? They said, yeah, that are warning or higher. So we just say warning, just like that, instead of the number, right? Logging trap warnings, and then they said do the same thing on switch 2. So we go to global config mode, same thing, logging trap warnings, and then on switch 1 and 2, verify the configuration. So we just go to switch 1 and 2 and do the same thing, just show logging, and that was it. We're done with this lab, and move on to the next one, right? And I hope you guys join the Discord server and hit that like button and hit that subscribe button. And then you would have been able to get the lab from the Discord server and then do it along with us. Not this lab, but the next lab we're about to do in a couple seconds. We do a show logging on switch 1, and we'll see. We got these log messages right over here. Right? We got this, what do we got? What we got? We got this interface that went up, so we got a level 5 message. There's another level 5, all of these level 5 messages, right? That are logged. When we go to the router, we see we did log trap level 4, right? And when we did that, this only showed us from level 5, level 6, level 5, right? So that means 4 and higher when we do the number. When we did the keyword warning, yeah, same thing. So level 5, that's it. So that's it. These are all level 5 messages here. So and we verify that with the top, where is it at? Right now it's set to warnings, right there. That's how you can see it. Level warnings. And I think that's pretty much it, right? The next thing is, yeah, verify configuration. So we just press Control G, or you can just go to lab, grade lab, and see what we're missing here. Looks like we got missing some configuration. I don't know what it is. Let me make sure that I did everything. We ping switch. We send system. Oh, you know what? We set the levels, but we didn't send the set it to send the messages to the Syslog server like we did on router 1, right? So let's make sure we do that. Go to global config mode. We say logging, because see, we can verify that. Where is it? We would have seen Where is it? It's not in there, so it's not in there. And that's because we didn't set it. You would have seen something like this, like we did on router 1. We go to router 1, we'll see this right here, logging to that. So we're sending our log messages to that syslog server. That's what that means, right? On UDP port 514. Shout out to Darth Breed over there. And then that's what we should have done on switch 1 and 2. So I'm glad we did that, and then we would have seen logging host 10.1. What was it? 0.10. We got to do see. Now we're logging. Once we see that syslog message, just like this right here, do the same thing on this guy, and then logging host 10.1. 0.10. Is that what I said it was? Yeah, 0.10. And then that's pretty much it. Now we do a show logging, and we'll see we are logging to that host right there on port number 514 UDP. Audit disabled, link up. Well, there's a lot of things we can do with logging and stuff like that. We could change the buffer size. I guess they call it. Where's the buffer size? Isn't that in here? I think that's the buffer size right there. But I guess they call it exception logging. Right? Yeah, that got to be a buffer size. Well, you could change. So you could basically change the size of how many log messages you can hold in there or whatever. But if you keep it kind of low, then you might lose something that happened, 10 weeks ago or a year ago. If the higher your buffer size is, the more log messages we can keep on the locally on the switch or router. Now we just do a Control G or grade lab, and that's what we was missing. Yep, exactly. So we completed lab successfully. Y'all make sure y'all hit that like button and the subscribe button. We'll do one more lab and then call it a night. Let's close this guy. Are you sure you want to exit? Heck yeah. How's you guys Memorial Day been, man? I know I'm over here labbing on a holiday, man. But y'all know how I do, man. I try to lab every day, man. It's like muscle memory right here, right? So here's the lab. I'm gonna give it a couple minutes for some people to. I hope you guys downloaded this lab and have Packet Tracer also installed, so y'all can do this along with it. It's real easy too. It's a guided lab. It'll tell us exactly what to fucking do. So ain't no way you can fuck this up, man. As you can see right here. Part 1, configure syslog service. And this is just like, again, this is like Packet Tracer. So it ain't like all syslog servers are built this way or have this feature or whatever. We're going to go on the syslog server and enable the service. So we go to syslog server, which is located right over here. And then we go to, I believe it's services. Just like a Windows server, you would have to turn these services on. But obviously the GUI is going to look different, and it's going to be totally different. It's just going to look different. And we go to services, and then we're going to go to syslog, as you can see right there. And then we're going to turn it on. Bloop, simple as that. Now that we've turned it on, we should see some messages, or probably not. Maybe not yet, because I think it was already configured. We don't really have to do no configuring, I don't think, on this. Oh, yeah, we do got to. Yes, we do. I was thinking of another lab, so there is some configuring we got to do, but it is still guided. Turn the syslog service on and move the window so you can monitor your activity. So we did that. And here's the other thing I like about Packet Tracer. Bloop. We have our grading feature here, so we're 13% complete. So we almost done, y'all. All right. Step 2: configure the intermediary devices to use the syslog service. So we're gonna go to router 1 and basically do the same thing we did in the Boson NetSim lab. We're gonna turn this guy on. Go to the CLI. He's already on. We are gonna go to global config mode. Bloop, bloop. Enable global config mode. We're gonna say we're gonna log to the host, right? So logging. Let's see if host keyword is in there. Yes, it is. So we say host 10, but they left out the keyword there. So 10. The syslog server is what? 10.01.254. So we're saying send our log messages to that server, right? Go to that guy, 10.0.1.254. Press enter, and we'll see I'm at 26% complete, so we're good there. I'm glad that they didn't make it so that way it's exactly the same. You can leave the host keyword out or not. If anybody knows what the difference between the two is, because apparently you can just do logging and then the IP address, or logging and host and then the IP address. So, configure switch 2 to send syslog events and switch 1. So we got to do the same thing on switch 2 and switch 1 that we did, right? Same thing. Switch 2 and switch 1, right? This actually looks like the Boson NetSyn lab. This guy, let me move it over so you can see the pretty network over there. I like seeing these networks. I'm such a fucking nerd. Logging host 10.0.1.254. So we're at 39% complete. See, this is a quick lab, man. Really quick lab. If you're new to this, man, like, it's real easy, man. You'll be like, oh, I know how to set up syslog. Same thing with this guy. Enable global config mode. We say logging host, logging to the host 10.0.1.254. Let's enter. We're at 52% complete, so we're halfway done. Just living the labbing. Yep. Change the status of the interfaces to create some log events. So now we're going to actually do some things on the network, which was what I was trying to do in the last lab. Do some things on the network, and we should see some messages. We should have actually, since we turned on logging for these devices, we should have seen the syslog message theoretically. So let's go see real quick. Go to syslog server, syslog, nope. And the service is on, so we should have seen those levels. Those are level 6 messages that we saw in the Boson NetSyn lab, right? So apparently that doesn't. Maybe that feature is not available, or remember, this is just Packet Tracer is an emulator or a simulator rather. There it is right there. That's what I was trying to do. I had to get out of I had to exit out of that mode, so I got to do the same thing over here, right? So exit out. Now we're saying, okay, now we're turning on logging to the host 10.0.1.254 on port number 514. UDP, right, Darth Dweeb? So that means now we should theoretically see some syslog messages. Go on here. Go to syslog server. Syslog. No, we don't have any. That's interesting. We're logging to it. What else are we missing? Oh, maybe we got to set up. Maybe we got to set up the level, severity level. Either way, nah, they should have sent them all to him. I don't know. Let's see. Change the status of the interfaces to create event logs. I think that's probably why, the severity level. Configure loopback 0 interface on router 1 and then disable it. So on router 1, we're gonna create a loopback interface and then disable it. Go to global config mode. We're gonna say interface loopback 0. Bloop. Oops, that's a letter O.
You stupid.
I meant backspace 0. Enter. Now we turned on the loopback, and then they said to do what? Disable it or shut it down. What did they say? I can't even remember. Y'all know I got a short-term memory, man. They said to disable it. So we turned it up. Let's shut it back down. Bring that ass down. We shut it down. Let's go to Syslog server. Bloop. Now we got some syslog messages. So it's probably a severity level that we probably need to change. I don't know. But there go to some syslog messages. The level 5 of it turning up. Line protocol. We should be able to widen this up so we can see. There it is. So same thing you see on the actual CLI of the device or the logging console. The console. It's the same thing you see on the syslog server, right? The next, so we're at 52% complete. Next thing they want us to do is look at the Syslog events. All of the events have been recorded. However, the timestamps are incorrect. So look at there. We got these events happening on March 1st, 1993. I don't have a sound effect for that one. But, yeah, we basically turned into Marty McFly here, right? So let's go ahead and we need to fix the date and time on these guys. Clear the log before proceeding to the next part. How we do that? We just got this little clear log button right here on the bottom right? Bloop. Now we've cleared all of that stuff, right? And then they said manually set the switch clocks. So we're going to manually set the clock on switch 1 and switch 2 to the current date and time, approximate time. All right, so how we do that is just the clock set command, right? So we go to switch 1. Oh, I didn't hear you. He said, do you have to set your trap again? Oh, he said, never mind. Oh, did I do that? We said logging trap. Yeah, I guess apparently we didn't have to. But maybe that's what I thought we had to have done. Maybe it was the severity level is the reason why they didn't show up. Who knows? I don't know. So we're gonna go to switch 1, and what they said they wanted us to do with this guy again. Go to global config mode. They said to set the clock. So clock set. Oops. That's not clock set, is it? Nah, that ain't the command. It is clock set, but the command the command is they've written it out differently on Packet Tracer. That's weird. I hope you guys download it and you'll see what I'm talking about. But you do clock, the key word you're supposed to be able to do is, oh, you got to be, I think you got to be on user exec mode. That's why. So we back out, exit, clock, set. That's why. That's what I was missing, right? So now we put the current time, which is now, not right now, 8:36, so 0, which it's actually military time. So in this case, 20:36:00, right? And then what? The month and the date of year. So it's today's March 30th, right? So March 30, and then the month is March, and then the year is what, 2022. So we'll put it in this year, right? Press enter. Now that we've set the clock, we are at still 52% because they can't grade the correct time and date on that, right? So we'll do the same thing on this guy right here, right? So clock set, and then 20:36. We said date. We'll say March. I'm sorry. Did I say March? I meant to put May. Probably why this shit wrong, right? Nah. May 30th, 2022. Press enter. Let me see. Did I put March on this one? I sure enough did. What the heck is wrong with me? 2 months are the same to me. May 30th, right? So now we've got those dates there. Next thing they want us to do, Darth Reed said no NTP for the win. Yeah, exactly. If anybody knows, NTP stands for Network Time Protocol. If we had an NTP server, well, actually we do have one right there. If I think, is it enabled? Is this lab cover that? Yes, it does. That's probably what it is. So we manually set the time on these bad boys. But I think if we turned it on the NTP server, then these guys would have been able to get their date and time from the server, which I think we're going to do later on. And that's the importance of NTP, right? Because as y'all can see, we were stuck in 1993. Enable the logging timestamp service on the switches. How do we do that? It's a service, right? We're going to go to switch 1. And the way we do that is with service. So service, we got to go to global config mode for this one. Service, and then what? Timestamps, and then we question mark. And don't be afraid of question mark, right? Because even like all the way in the CCIE lab, you can question mark through them because you're not gonna remember every fucking command. You're just not gonna do it. I don't care how much of a whiz you are or how much you can remember things. There's just so many different versions of iOS. You're just not gonna remember anything. So don't be afraid of question mark, right? They said to send the log messages. What else they wanted us to send? The date and time. So date and time right there. Question mark. Did they say they want the milliseconds? Yeah, they did. So milliseconds. We could have done. I don't think we can do that without that anyway. Question mark. You see, got the CR for carriage return. Ain't nothing else to put in there. Go to switch 2. Do the same thing, right? Service. Oops. Gotta go to global config mode over there.
Bruh.
Service. Timestamp. Excuse me. Date and time. No. See, I don't remember, and I just did it right. Log. Date and time, milliseconds, enter. And then what else? We could do debugging too though, but that's how now I wish we didn't clear the log so you could see. We would have seen the date and the time done correctly on here, but as you can see, we don't have no date and time for that first logging message. But now that we've done that, let's back out. Bloop, bloop. We should theoretically send a date and time. Bloop. So now let's see. Let's look at the syslog messages. We've done that. Bloop. Now we've got date and time. See there? This one didn't have it because we didn't turn it on yet. Now we're setting, and it's the correct date and time on top of that, right? That's pretty cool, right? Step 1. Oh, we're going to configure the NTP service. So as Darth Dweeb said, if this server was enabled, we would have had all of this done automatically for us. We ain't got to worry about all that. They just get their date and time from the NTP server or Network Time Protocol server, right? In this activity, we are assuming that the NTP service is being hosted on a public internet server. If the NTP server was private, authentication could also be used. Open the NTP server. On the NTP server, open the services tab of the NTP server. So we go to the NTP server right here. Bloop. Go to the services tab. Bloop. We go to NTP. Right here. And we're going to turn it on. Bloop. That turns it on. Now we're at 98% complete, so we're almost done here, y'all. We're right at the finish line. Turn on the NTP service and note the date and time that is displayed. So what is the date and time we got? We got January 20th, 6:33. January 31st, rather. I said January 20th. January 2020 at 31, 6:34, right? Set the clock on router 1 to the date and time stamp according to the NTP server. So now, we set the time and date manually on these two guys. But we're going to tell router 1, hey, if you want to get your date and time, you need to get it from the NTP server. And that's what we're doing with this command here. Go on router 1, exit out of that, and we say NTP server, the IP address of the server, which was 64. Right here, 64.103.224.2, right? 64.103.224.2. Press enter, right? The clock set, again, the clock set command that we did on these guys was manually setting it to these guys. But the problem is this is not very scalable. If we have 500 switches and we got to do clock set, you see where I'm getting at right here, right? It would just be too much. But if you have an NTP server and if you put that, you can set all these guys. You still got to put that command in on all of those guys, but at least they could all still get their time, date and time from the NTP server. So if you have like, I don't know, like SolarWinds or some sort of, or like basic template, and you put that NTP server with the IP address, then they'll be able to get their date and time from the NTP server. But now we're at 100% complete. Issue the show clock command to view the system clock setting. It can take some time for the system clock to be updated to the time that is configured on the NTP server. If the system clock is not updated, and you got to click the fast forward button, which is right over here, which is another feature that I like about Packet Tracer. So now we just get out of this, bloop, and we do a show clock, and we'll see his date and time is still set to 1993. So let's just give it some time. Remember, I didn't enable it until I got out of that mode. So we'll do a show clock again real quick. Still 1993. Marty McFly over here. Y'all hit me that like button and the subscribe button. We almost done here, y'all.
3 hours later.
Show clock. Still at 1993. Doesn't it change? I thought it would. Did I put the right address? Let's see. .2. Yeah, 64.103.224.2. Yep, I sure did.
3 weeks later.
We got Anders Tech in the building. Appreciate you for tuning in. We got Chromebook in the building. Shout out to both of y'all. LOL, look at God. Labbing up a new lab with BIOS, virtual routers, and just realized I need to refresh on Syslog messages. Yeah, that's crazy. You have to do a little refresh there. We got Kobe Lee in the building. Show clock one more time, and now we got the correct date and time. That's what's up, man. But anyways, I appreciate y'all for tuning in. Make sure you hit that like button. You hit that subscribe button. Follow me on social media platforms if you want to, connect with me on a more personal level. At NetworkBruh for Instagram and Twitter. What else? I typically stream daily, sometime between 6 to 9. Just depends on how busy my day is or how tired my daughter makes me feel. Right. Just make sure you join the Discord server, and then I'll usually give you a heads up on what time I'll stream and stuff like that. And then you can download these labs and do it along with us in real time. Right. So for now, comment, like, subscribe to the network.